welcome to this demonstration video of StraytWay. StraytWay is a navigation app I wrote originally for hiking, but I tweaked it a little bit so it can be used in an aeronautical and navigational environment. And today is another demonstration of how you can use it when you're planning a flight or as a backup system. Or perhaps if you have an ULM, if you have no navigational system at all, VFR navigational system, then well, StraytWay might be a good solution. But today we are demonstrating it in Cessna citation, so it works in basically any airplane, and it's on the phone, so on a normal phone. And that's what I'm going to use today. So you see the map of Europe, where we are, and the little circle indicates our current position. So you click on that current position button, and then we center. Then you go plus on where we are now, and you see we're in Antwerp Airport. So we're gonna do a short hop to London Heathrow. That's just across the channel. And here we are. So we're already set on the runway. And the only thing that we need to do is just put in the runway we're gonna land on in Heathrow. Just go to, hold on. Go to London, and you have to find yourself where Heathrow is. It's here. We're gonna land on runway 09 left, and what we're gonna do is, so if we land on 09 left, this is the inactive threshold. So we're gonna put a marker right there. We're gonna add it. You see that plus button at the right bottom. Click on that button, and now that marker is added to the route. Then we're gonna add a second marker on the active thresholds, because we're flying in from the west. So this is the active threshold. Put a marker and also add it to the route. So now we have a tiny little route that consists really of our runway, and that's all we're gonna need to fly VFR. We're gonna fly IFR, so we file like we filed an IFR plan, but we gotta compare to what StraytWay is saying all along. And then the only thing we need to know next, or last thing, is the elevation of the runway, and therefore we change maps like so. Now normally we should have altitude lines, because yeah, you don't see them very well because London is quite flat, but here there's a number, and that's enough. So it's 20 meters. The maps are in metric because they're general purpose maps for use around the world for hiking and stuff, but now we're using them for, well, kind of for aeronautical navigation. So it's 20 meters, but no worries. StraytWay has a converter, 2 feet. And how do we get that converter? So make sure, so at the bottom, you can switch the waypoints. There's only 2 of them. So waypoint number 2, you can see it's at 86 nautical miles. Set it to the last waypoint, so on waypoint number 2, then activate the CDI button, which is at the bottom left, like so. And then click on, you see the 269, that's the course of the magenta needle, that's the course needle. Just click on it, that it goes to the reciprocal, and now you're ready to use it for runway navigation, for navigating to your runway, VFR. You see that little airplane that has appeared, magenta airplane. Click on it, and here we can enter the 20. The altitude of 20 meters. and our pattern altitude is, I'm gonna put in the, hold on. So our approach for London will be 09 left ISL, and that has a glide slope intercept altitude of 2,500. So we're going to use that as our kind of our pattern altitude. So that's a nice reference. So 2,500 altitude. And once we've entered those two values, we can click on the orange large button. It's not just text, it's also a button. Click on it. There you go. And now you see that the pattern altitude has been hold on. I entered the 2,500. Should be entering. That was MSL, and the map also says the AGL, so it's really AGL. Pattern altitude is always AGL. It says on the left, pattern altitude AGL, and the pattern altitude is 242921. 2421. Normally you don't need that because you just put in 1500, but now we're comparing to an ILS approach, so it's nice to have that. And that should be approximately 2,500, but it's not. So let's increase 5. That's better. So it's 25 meters elevation. Yeah, because it should be 2,500. Perhaps reduce it to 24. That's close enough. 2,499 MSL. Okay, so that's set. Close it. Now, this is already a bit complicated because we're following an ILS route that we filed in the previous videos. We're just flying a VFR, so all that stuff with calculating the ILS intercepts, it's not in. Normally, you shouldn't use StraytWay that way, but it's just we're gonna compare it to the ILS of the Cessna citation. FMS. Good. Close it. That map we can change back to the original. And I think we are ready to. So this button goes to your current position. Now this arrow points to, so we're set to target number 2. Look at the top, so minus plus, so we're number 2, target waypoint number 2. So that's the threshold of the 09. If you zoom in, you see actually there it is. Points to the threshold of runway 09 left. Okay, back to our navigation screen, and that's all we're gonna need. And we don't need to change anything. And let's see what StraytWay does. I'm gonna take off. Everything should be set. This is not a flight instruction video, not even a Microsoft Flight Simulator flight instruction video. It's just to show you the StraytWay. No takeoff, that's because I didn't use the... Gonna rotate at about 110. There we are. Positive rate of climb. Gear up. And flaps up. And put us on autopilot. And that's it. And we're climbing to the east. And we'll be turning. And that's Antwerp. We'll be doing a 180. The plane is already doing that. Now watch StraytWay. It says moving away. So the yellow arrow, we're moving away from London, from Heathrow, so there's no... Nice. Making our turn here. Climb power. We'll try and fly so the route we're gonna do today is here. And there we are. So in flight plan terms, it looks like this. We're gonna do the Loga 2 hotel arrival, and then with the LAM transition to there you are. So the LAM transition to runway ILS approach ILS 09 left, turning away over the some clouds there, so that's nice. It's real weather and real time, so we won't be cutting out stuff because it's a short flight. Now look at StraytWay. It has already calculated an arrival time, 42 minutes, but that will decrease once we're at cruising speed, altitude, sorry, which will be 2,400 today. And then compared to our arrival time here, it says 47 minutes, and StraytWay says 39 minutes. And that's why it's shorter in StraytWay, because StraytWay is a straight line. It doesn't have the flight plan route, it doesn't have the stars in there. It goes straight to the airport, and that's how it's supposed to be. It's VFR. So, yeah. Now, StraytWay will calculate a top of descent, the 128, you see, nautical miles, 127 in magenta. That's the distance to your top of descent. And as soon as calculated by StraytWay, and as soon as we reach that, it will change to a advised vertical the rate of descent, feet per minute. And you also see the glide slope, or the glide slope angle, and that's kind of nice. Lovely day, winter's day, and oh yeah, well, StraytWay of course has a map. So if you close the, we click on the cross, and then you have our map. You can see we're flying over Flanders, which is the Dutch-speaking part of Belgium, and we'll be staying just south of the border with the Netherlands. The purple lines you see here has nothing to do with aviation. Those are just the territorial lines of Belgium. So those are the territorial waters. That's the territorial waters of Holland. So we'll know if you pass this point, we'll leave. We'll be in no man's land until we reach, of course, just for a short period, because this is territorial airspace of the UK. Back to our navigation screen. The magenta line is none other than the course of our approach, our approach line, our runway line. So it's like a huge extended runway line that you can see from 171 nautical miles away. So we are south of the runway line. Look at the CDI needle.
altitude.
Watch our speed now. Just make sure we don't overspeed. And in 60 minutes we'll start descending, but according to StraytWay, that's 93 nautical miles according to the Cessna. We will start our top of descent, and according to StraytWay, that's 75 nautical miles. Why is it 70 miles nautical miles shorter in StraytWay? Because again, StraytWay flies in a straight line. There are more track miles in an IFR flight plan than in a straight line, as the crow flies, as a Cessna Citation flies in this case. So you could enter all these waypoints in StraytWay, but you will have to guess on the map where they are. Or if you want to put in the work, you can actually work. Oh, there is our overspeed. Sorry, that's with all the talking. The Cessna Citation doesn't have a auto throttle, so normally you should be watching it all the time. Okay, so what was I saying? If you go to here, you can see the coordinates of your current position, and you can even go, if you close this again, click this, then you can even enter here you can enter a latitude and a longitude and go directly to that. But that's for purpose use. So you see, if you read the text, it says it has been sent to your mobile phone. So that's when you're out in the woods and you need rescue. You can, if you click on that button, it's in the memory in the clipboard of your phone automatically. So you need to you can paste it in a phone message or in Gmail or wherever you want to send it in. So that's, but then you should really be using the orange one. The orange one gives the position of where you are. Right? But now we're in a plane, so gonna do that. There we are, and we crossed a bit in Dutch territory. And we'll get back in Belgium again, and then interesting. So we're almost flying parallel to the runway. We're flying a track of 289. That's all in true north, because it's GPS calculated. And the track that we put in, or that we remember we put in the two waypoints, that's also true north, because it's picked on the map, and the map is per definition true north. So the course of the runway, the 89 is true north. That's the course of the runway course, 09 left. It's 89. And if you reverse that, that's 269. But you have to keep it on the reversal. Otherwise you'll get confused, because the arrow will be pointing in the wrong direction. Right. And all the rest, you can see our speed. It's 300, 400 knots. And we're going to compare that with what the Cessna says. Well, it's about right. So here it says the 97, and we are at now 392. It's a bit more frequent because it's just a phone. And of course, I had to make my phone think that it's actually in the Cessna of Microsoft Flight Simulator. So there's some code in between. You won't. Yeah, well, if you're a flight simulator and you're watching, yeah, I'm sorry, you can't use it in a flight simulator straight away. It's for the real world. So it's for on your phone when you're in an airplane or in the woods or on a sailing boat. I just wrote to be able to demonstrate it. I wrote a special piece of bridge code between the phone and MS, but that's not publicly available. And there's also, because of that, a bit of a delay between the position, but that's so that's top of descent is 10 minutes. I'm gonna put in, what was it again, 2,500 or yeah, this is Cessna citation stuff. 2,500 before I activate our VNAV. So let me start descending. Otherwise we'll just and that will be our final altitude before we intercept our pattern altitude, so to speak, our ILS pattern altitude, before we intercept the glide slope. What does it look like if you watch the screen here? Let's check. So we're going to go to LAM and then make a turn and get on the final approach for 09 left. So now you know that Belgium is really, really close to UK, to London, or Antwerp is really, really close to the UK, to London, and it will be there already in 24 minutes. We'll be on the ground, and StraytWay says within 33 nautical miles we need to start descending, and the Cessna says 47, and we're gonna stick to the Cessna because we're flying the ILS, the flight plan, the IFR flight plan. You see the Magenta line? So we're within 2 nautical miles of the center line. We're gonna cross the center line of the runway. Look at the Magenta 135, 126 nautical miles. So we're at 117 nautical miles, and we can see that we crossed the center line of the runway where we're gonna land. So this is, even if you're flying IFR, this is an amazing situational awareness tool. Because at any time you have your final destination, your final runway where you are. So imagine you had a failure in your Garmin or in your primary navigation system. You look at this and you see right away where you are. And it's on your phone. You have your phone always with you. So, but of course, don't rely on it as an official backup system. I don't know if there is such a thing as an official backup system. Yep. So we crossed the center line. Was a glitch. Okay. Just gonna follow the track and you can watch how StraytWay. It says 107 nautical miles, and The Cessna says 137, so that difference is because, again, we're flying in a straight line, or we're calculating in a straight line, and this is the track miles, which you will never see in the Garmin, the straight line miles. I don't think so. Can go faster, just again it's not there's no auto throttle, so you have to watch all the time if you're overspeeding or not, but for the rest it's a nice little plane. Nautical miles for top of descent according to StraytWay. And pretty overcast. Good thing we're flying IFR. That's the English channel. And France should be there somewhere. Yeah, it's a complete overcast. Just making sure that you watch StraytWay. We're almost there, and then you will see appear a and there you go. So that's the advised feet per minute descent rate. If you want to go at 2.5 degrees glide slope, we should dial in. We should start descending at 1.7. What you would do if you were to follow, you can see that in the other videos where we just strictly follow StraytWay, we would go till that 2.6 is about 3 degrees, and then we'll start descending. Or if you're in mountainous terrain, you can even go to 4 or 5 to avoid mountains as much as, depending on your plane, of course. But today we're following our IFR flight plan, and that's already in 1 minute that we'll start descending. The diamond has already appeared. And we're making our turn. The end of the Logan, start of the Logan arrival, and there you go, diamonds dropping. Oh dear, I never switched to standard pressure. Well, never mind. Oh yeah, reminds me, the weather for London is gonna request EGLL sent, so we can put in. Let's see. Yeah, just So the Cessna starts descending, and of course you have to reduce the throttle. There you go. Received view. 1017. Put in 1017. Not just yet. Okay. Next time when I'm gonna explain StraytWay, I choose a plane with auto throttle. But yeah, I'm used to this one. But again, you can use it in a 777 or an A350 or in a light ULM. It should work. The only thing it needs, of course, is be able to capture GPS reception through the roof of the airplane. Perhaps in some airliners that's no longer possible. So you can also use, if you take a flight, an airline flight, you can use StraytWay and see where you are in the world, because the maps you see are maps, everything you see. And so there we are, just off the coast. And they're all put automatically into the memory of your phone. So whatever we've seen since the start of the video has been put automatically in the cache memory of your phone, and it stays there until you either deliberately delete it or till you uninstall StraytWay. So in theory, you could sail in a sailing boat in the middle of the ocean, or if you cross the ocean in an airliner, you still see this map and see where you are. You don't need that shoddy in-flight entertainment map. That is if you're close to the window, because perhaps in the middle of a big airliner you won't have GPS reception. Okay, back to where we are. Just click on that button here and zoom in. Use the plus buttons. Pinching doesn't work in StraytWay, and that's on purpose, because pinching throws you off of your mark of where you are. It's not very good for situational awareness. With all that talking, where are we now? Well, we're still on track. We're flying level again. So I put the power standard at 70%, and that handles both descents and levels. That's not how it should be done, but in real life I realize, but that's okay for now. London must be, we don't need to guess, London is straight ahead. Look at the yellow arrow, our airport is straight ahead. And it's 51 nautical miles, so we'll be there in 9 minutes according to StraytWay, and according to we'll be there in 16 minutes, and that's again because we have more track miles. Coming up on Labrasso. That's, where are we? Madison, south of Madison, so that's, those are those marches. And, is there any... So if you got an emergency, also you can just look where all these airplanes are for the airports, and you start seeing them from zoom level. The bottom right is about, we're at 10.5. So I'm gonna zoom out, so they disappear at 9. So as of 10, you see the little airplanes. Zoom level 10. You see the airports. Like here is another one, just on site. Don't have to enter anything. Here's another one. Here's another one. Voila. Oh yeah, if you want to go to London and go shopping, just zoom in on London. Everything is on there. I mean, every single shop, every single name, every much more than in the other map we can't mention here. Every monument, every yeah, look, the shape of the buildings, even the trees are marked, even the paths, yeah, we are flying, by the way. I'm piloting so-called a plane, but just gonna show you the level of detail. Also the train stations, everything is on there. The only thing you can do is enter a name in StraytWay, because it's not like an old school map, but a very, very detailed map. So if you go to the City of London, the Serpentine, Buckingham Palace must be here somewhere. Oh, there is Buckingham Palace. So you can even put that's Buckingham Palace. If we put our target there, and now our arrow points to Buckingham Palace. That's 23 nautical miles. Yeah, it's a shame we've got an overcast. So Buckingham Palace is 23 nautical miles ahead, and slightly to the left. Wanna revert to our threshold? Just click on the plus here. We're going to waypoint number 1 and waypoint number 2. So we're back to our runway. So you can switch to Buckingham Palace. That's some flight software. To Buckingham Palace to runway 09 left. Yeah, that's StraytWay for you. Did you say that proudly? Well, they should get some more installs. Okay, let's fly the airplane. Well, the autopilot is doing that now. Our little ghost has appeared. So that's also the citation that gives the ILS CDI for the and look at StraytWay. It's copy paste. Exactly the same. Yeah. If you lose the top of descent, you have to go. That's for the security reasons. If you start moving, so you have to click on the little airplane again, and then the top of descent appears once more. We are at Lambourne, so getting close to home. No Buckingham Palace? Nah, that's really too bad. Must be somewhere there. But we're flying real weather, so there's not much we can do about it as a whole. gonna switch. I don't know what the transition level is. We're gonna do it anyway. We're not flying in Vatsimo, so we're already at local barometer. So just we don't forget that. So StraytWay says if we gonna fly straight, it's at 8 degrees. That's of course a straight line to the runway, which we would never do now. But in my other videos, the previous videos, I show how you use StraytWay to fly a pattern, a VFR pattern, downwind and base and stuff. And that's more meaningful. But the idea of this video was to show how it compares to the GPS of the onboard GPS, like the Garmin here of your plane. And yeah, it's close. The only reason that it's not close is because, again, I keep repeating it, this is all straight line. We're going straight to our runway. Gonna reduce sometimes the connection with Microsoft Flight Simulator interrupts, that's why it starts turning. So watch the feet per minute. That's not relevant anymore because yeah, we're way too close to the airport. That's why we're flying the whole thing here. This whole thing. So if you go this way, it's almost 90. Oh no, this is it's not yet the because we haven't reached the pattern altitude yet. So don't think there's a mistake in StraytWay, because by now we should already be at if you would be flying at VFR, we should already be at 2,500 instead of at this distance. That's why the angle is so ridiculously high. So in real life you won't be getting that if you fly StraytWay for a VFR. But the lateral information is of course correct. So the arrow points, the threshold is 7.9 nautical miles, and it's a beam. So if we, yeah, should be there, but it's all cloudy. Too bad. Next time perhaps I'm gonna fly with fair weather, so you can see the ground. So we are 7.7 nautical miles cross-track error from the center line of the runway. That's the magenta figure. And we're moving away now from the threshold, which is exactly what this says here. Alright, gonna reduce our speed already. To about flap speed. And as soon as we're on the localizer, you'll be able to see how StraytWay calculates your approach then we'll get color coding that you're too high or too low for your glide slope angle. Looks like we hit another level plateau. Making our turn. Which is great because I'm already gonna arm the approach like so. We don't miss it. And now see StraytWay. You'll see the needle as soon as we approach the center line. If it's less than 2 nautical miles, now it's 5.25. If it's less than 2 nautical miles, the needle will start moving. Perhaps 15. Let's keep it so 2.8, and normally the Cessna should start turning automatically and even switch to the ILS as navigation source. Watch, stay away, 2, and there you go. So the needle is approaching, and that's so one side, one wing is 2 nautical miles. And we're turning indeed. Ah.
Altitude.
Tell you what, don't trust the switch, so I'm gonna switch manually and then put in the nav. And there
Altitude.
we are. Approach.
Altitude.
And watch our StraytWay, our CDI. So now we start calculating. We're a bit too low, so it's red. If it's between 2.5 and 3.5, it's green. So it's just on the border. So we're good, and we should. When we start descending, we should be descending. If we were to descend right now, we should descend at a rate of 700 feet per minute. And the nice thing about it is that's calculated taking into account all the wind. So if you had a wind, because that's GPS calculated. Gear out. We're about to intercept. And we're straight on the money in StraytWay. And You remember, we put those 2 points manually. Those 2 points is all you need to identify the runway on the map, and then it calculates automatically. A line is determined by 2 points, so, and see how accurate that is. 6 nautical miles to the threshold, and it says here 6 nautical miles. So now there's no more exactly 4, 6. So it's coincides perfectly. And we're catching our glide slope in the meantime. Make sure we don't screw up our landing. Oh, what are those legs? Oh. Those legs are these 2 legs. It's what is that? The Queen Mother Reservoir. We're doing all that while we are landing. Huge, the Queen Mother Reservoir. There's a smaller reservoir, which is called, doesn't have a name. But in StraytWay, everything is usually named. And that looks like a yachting club. And that's indeed. That was... which one was that? Must be somewhere over here. Okay, before we crash, I'm still fine. And once we're on the ground, I'm gonna show you how you can use StraytWay for taxiing, especially on a big airport like Heathrow. And what you know, we had our landing lights on all the trip. As said, this is not a flight instruction video. And let's get my feet on the pedals. Our speed is on the money. And we have a slight crosswind. And autopilot disengage. This is not a flight instruction video. Laps up and speed brakes. And there we are. Welcome to London. I'm gonna exit on this one. We should be able to make this one. Vacating the runway. Okay, gonna stop here. My taxi lights strobe off and taxi lights on, and then gonna take StraytWay. Suppose you get your clearance, or ground gives you a clearance and the path to follow. We want to be at here. That's the terminal for general aviation, I think. Hold on. So the let's go to 410. So what we're gonna do, first we're gonna delete all the waypoints we entered so far, so those 2 waypoints. And now we're gonna enter a new one. That's our parking space. And well, normally you should get where we are now. We're here. So if ground gives you your parking, you can see where you need to go, and they probably say go like the shortest way to would be here, probably. Yeah, so take here, take this one and then this one. So we gonna turn to the right here, add it to the route, and then all the way. Just watch out. I'm gonna put another one here so that we don't incidentally cross the runway. Yep. And then here one to make the turn, like so, and then all the way to, oh, we have to make a right turn here. Just put the marker before you need to make the turn. And then here's another one. Go for the where there are turns in the taxiways. And which one was it? Okay, so just make it that you can go at the right angles to your final destination. And we'll put in, follow the last one, add it. So now we have our little route, our taxi route, and we need to go to the first one, to this one. How do we do that? Just click 1 on top. Say here 1. So that's 0, that's to the target, that's Buckingham Palace, remember? 11 nautical miles, but we need to go to our first route. And we're gonna do another thing, we're gonna change to meters. You can take yards. Well, if there are any American viewers, I'll switch to yards. So this is the unit for American units, the car miles, statute miles. So we're gonna switch to that. And now everything is in, there you go, it's in yards. So we need to turn to the I'm gonna switch to the map, why not, and keep us centered on where we are. So we need to go turn to the left here. Oh, that's this one. Yep. StraytWay says we're right on track. And now it's 1,400 yards. You can see that at the bottom right, 1,300 yards to our turn-off point. At this speed, we're gonna take off again. That's NASCAR. Now do we have to, yeah, we need to continue. There's no more markers here. Hear the little chime, that means we're approaching our turn-off point. And that must be here. There's a bit of delay, as I told you, that's because of the simulation. in real life you won't have this delay between the position and so this is where we need to turn. And there's green lights. Now it's another stretch. Right on track. Yeah, we're passing a terminal. What is this? To the right, that's terminal. Yeah, that's what you get as soon as you start fooling around with your soft, with your. Gonna slow down a bit because we get coming at the crossing. There we are. That's not yet the runway. Runway is next crossing. Yeah, this is just a taxiway. And now you see how the delay, how much delay there is, but that's again that's because of the simulation. So suppose we got clearance to cross. Just cross ahead and then to the right, slightly to the right. So it must be this one. And that must be terminal, the one where we want to park. And now we have to make a right turn here. You drive on the wrong side of a road. That's fish called Wanda. Yeah, we are in the UK. There you go. And this should be to the left. And then we're almost there. Kind of take it very slow that we don't overshoot our... Yeah, look, yeah, we're overshooting a bit because of the... well. So if we turn left, we should be at our... what was it, 405? So that must be that one. I'm curious to see if that's correct. Normally with a small jet like this we won't get a jet well, it's not even marked. But this should be EF4, yeah, that's exactly where we plan to be. And now we can hit the town. So welcome to London, with StraytWay as a backup. And make sure to watch all the other videos. I've tried to put in as many as possible, also with big landmarks in the world. It's nice because it's perfect for that StraytWay. Okay, so I hope this was fun and helpful, and looking forward to see you on the next demonstration video of StraytWay.